Yo, what's going on, Hero Clash Call? Welcome back to a brand new beginner's guide video. Probably the most requested beginner's guide video in Hero Clash history from y'all. The acronyms: what does attack, what does HP, what does crit resistance, all those acronyms mean. And we're gonna be going over every single one in today's video. So make sure you thumbs up the video, subscribe if you're brand new, and of course become elite if you want to support greatness. First link down in the descriptions below. Without any further ado, let's deep dive into the good old acronyms. Okay, so if you click your good old this bad boy here, you have all these acronyms: CP, HP, attack, armor, speed, crit. What does it all mean? Well, let's start from the top, and towards the end of this video, I'm actually giving you guys a live example, also verified from Hero Clash. Let's do this. So your very first one, a character power, that is a number that will the power of your character, and that equals part of this big number up here. Okay, when it comes to HP, you have is health points. You'll already know it's very simple. HP goes to 0 and your hero is done on average. Attack, ATK, self-explanatory. Now when it comes to armor, that's the Hero Clash won't tell me what armor actually is, what this number represents, as in how is it affected in the game, and it's really weird. They won't tell me, so yeah, I can't answer that one. Just know your armor's at 5,876. No clue what that means. Now, when it comes to speed, speed is when your hero takes action in a game. On average, yes, there are exceptions where heroes can go before or after, depending on what their abilities are, or passive abilities, or special abilities. But on average the speed determines when your hero takes action. So if you have a high speed, you're probably going to take action faster than the other heroes. So speed is king when it comes to the tippity top levels of Hero Clash. Well, PvP, PvE not so much, but PvP is where speed makes a difference. Just saying. Okay, moving on to crit. Now, what is crit? Critical. It is a percentage where you can hit a critical hit. So when it comes to using your core skill and you want to do critical damage, well, it all depends on the percentage of the crit. That's how much percentage you have to hit that critical hit. Okay? However, to counter that from an enemy perspective is crit resistance. Yes, it's very simple. It's very easy math. So let's say for kicks and giggles, I have 100% crit on my Alvarez, but the enemy has 100% crit resistance. Well, guess what? My crit just went down to 0. It simply just minuses the numbers based on your hero, and whoever your hero is attacking, those crit and crit resistance will minus each other out depending on what the numbers are. So it's very pertinent to have an extremely high crit if you're wanting to hit a critical hit, a critical strike, right? Okay, we already knocked out crit resistance. Now when it comes to crit damage, yes, cake-a-doodles, it's pretty much critical damage is the number that will be multiplied after said and done when it comes to an attack. I do want to focus on crit damage resistance. So let's say if I have 100% critical damage, but the enemy has 50% critical damage resistance, well, when I hit a critical hit, that means only 50% of that is going to be calculated in the final amount of damage towards the enemy. Okay? And we'll be talking about this in the end as well, having a live example for y'all. Okay? Moving to skill damage. Now, skill damage is very simple. Skill damage only applies to pretty much almost half of the attacks. So you have your basic attack, and then you have your skilled attack, right? You do have passive attack. However, we're focusing on skilled attack. When it comes to a skilled attack, whenever you see a core skill, when you have an ulti or something, and the Phoenix, boom. If your energy bar is full, 100%, the yellow line, and it goes down to 0, and you see the special animation and stuff, that's an ulti, aka core skill. That right there. So whenever you have a skilled attack, is going to take the amount of damage you would do and then multiply it times your skilled damage percentage. So pretty much skill damage in a nutshell is it's going to take the base attack, the number you see on your hero, and then you're going to go to your core skill and read it, and let's just say, for example, it's 500% attack increase on one enemy. Well, it's going to take that number and multiply it times 500%, too easy. Then it's going to multiply it with the skill damage. So let's just say your skill damage is 100%. So that means it's going to pretty much double the number you get, right? So yeah, pretty easy. And that's going to equal a new damage total that will be delivered to the enemy, okay? Moving on to holy damage. This only applies to, special heroes. Holy damage simply is just true damage. It which ignores armor. Majority of your heroes will have 0%, but there are some out there that will have a certain percentage. Okay. Now moving on to debuff hit and debuff resistance. Let's go. What is a debuff hit? Well, stun, charm, entangle, silence, imprison. There's so many. There's so many adjectives, but they all do the same or very similar thing. Make sure you read up on the hero that you're trying to increase their debuff. Now, what does it mean? It simply means if you have 100% debuff hits and your hero uses a debuff ability, then you're guaranteed to debuff that hero, aka stun, charm, blah, blah, blah. And then if their debuff resistance is at 0%, then, well, they're guaranteed to get debuffed, aka stunned, charmed, entangled, imprisoned, etc. However, if your debuff resistance is, let's say, 50%, and your enemy's debuff is 100%, that means that 50% is going to minus from the 100%, and that means they have a 50% chance to hit a debuff hit with that debuff ability. Okay, so if you don't want to get stunned, charmed, entangled, etc., then I highly recommend working on debuff resistance, but it's extremely hard to work on that because there's not that much you could do. There are, when it comes to runes, there's the right side and the top right side that can focus on debuff resistance or debuff if you pull the correct runes, but it takes some luck. Okay, now moving on to the next we have is hit and dodge. Hit simply is you hit your hits. Now it's the exact counter for dodge, and there's really not much going on with these two attributes currently. You have the Holy Wings that gives you a 35% chance to dodge. Dodge pretty much ignores 100% of the damage. So if you put it on any hero and you see him like whip, and oh, dodge, boom, it literally misses. And so if a hero has hit, that means it will deduct from dodge. Now, when it comes to accuracy and block, it's kind of on the similar lines as hit and dodge. Now, when it comes to blocking, if it kicks in, if let's just say you have 100% block, which I've never seen that before. Usually see it around like, 20, 30, 40, 50%. But just for, kicks and giggles 100%, that means damage that you take will be reduced to 1/3. Yes, 33%, which is not bad at all. However, accuracy will deduct from that, so it's good to increase your accuracy if you know someone has a high percentage of block. Okay, and then very easy, you have damage reduction. It's simply you reduce the amount of damage you're going to take, and the hard cap is 70%. Yes, you cannot go past 70% because it wouldn't be fair if you could get your damage reduction up to 100%, then your hero could never die. That would be kind of pointless, be invincible. So the hard cap is 70%. Whew, man, that was a lot. Now let's move on to the example from Hero Clash. Okay, so here we go. I said example, the Phoenix. Let's say her attack is 100, skill damage 100%, crit 100%, crit damage 100%, and just to keep it simple, the enemy is at 0% crit resistance, 0% damage reduction, etc. So zeros across the board, right? Except for HP, obviously. If Phoenix uses her level 3 Incinerate, what would her damage be? Okay, so they say, hi, Incinerate is a skill attack of Phoenix. The damage will be 1600. So then I say, how do you get to 1600? What calculation is used? Okay, to break this down, it's 100 times 400% times 2 times 2. Let me explain. So you take 100 attack. Her attack is 100. And when it comes to Incinerate, she does 400% damage from that attack. So that'd be 100 times 400%, which equals 400. Cake, right? And then since it's a skilled attack and she has 100% skill damage, you must double it. So it would be 400 times 2. Okay? So that's 800. Now, her crit and critical damage is 100% each, which means she's guaranteed to hit a critical strike, which means she's going to hit... That means she's going to do that 100% critical damage. So you're going to take that 800 and double it. So 800 times 2 equals 1600. Now this is a very basic example, but if y'all want me to create something a lot more complex where we include other heroes, a whole 6-man team or whatever, let me know in the comments and then we'll go from there. But we're keeping it simple so people and new players can have a chance just to grasp on how the system works. And then we can start getting into the advanced tactics when it comes to other heroes granting, attack, or when it comes to artifacts minusing out damage or da-da-da-da. Y'all already know. Boom. Too easy. Hopefully this video helps, and I will see y'all in the next one. Greatness manifested.